I'll call Jenny and Bill and see if I could bug one.
Okay, we're now live on YouTube. For anybody watching from YouTube, we are waiting for another voting member to join us for a quorum. Okay, so Jenny's here, so we will have a quorum for the meeting. You are muted. If you will unmute yourself so we can test your volume.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Nope, I meant for Jenny, sorry.
Okay.
I should be specific. Oh, I'm still not hearing anything.
Huh.
Sometimes if you log off and log back on, it helps. Or where it's at the bottom menu where the little microphone is, you might have to choose a different speaker or microphone if you have a different option. Or I can give you a telephone number and you can call in. I'll share my screen. This is the phone number. And then here's the ID number. Okay, I think you should be able to talk on the phone now. Unmute. Oh, shoot. Try. Oh, shoot. We'll get it figured out. It's just going to take us a couple minutes. I'm asking, there's a number that you have to press in order to unmute it on the phone. And
How about now?
Oh, I can hear.
got you. I'm going to keep your screen one muted so we only hear you
Okay.
through the phone. Okay, I think we're good to go.
All right, so we have a quorum.
Okay, so if you want to go ahead and call it to order.
I would be happy to. Let's call this meeting to order and do a roll call.
Okay, Bill Clemens is not here. Kelly Lean,
Here.
Jeff Lambert,
Here.
Jenny Fuchs. Doug Case is requested to be excused. Oh, Doug Case might be here.
I think Kyle was trying to call him.
Oh, okay. We've got two
Hi,
calls.
this is Kyle.
Kyle, okay, so you are here. Excellent.
Yes, sorry, everyone.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna rename you here so I can. Sorry, just a little bit of technical stuff this time. Okay, so we've got Kelly Lean, Jeff Lambert, Jenny Fuchs, Kyle Tarbett present. We do have a quorum. We also have Finance Director Carlton, City Administrator Rizzatello, and myself.
Great. Okay, I believe the next thing to do is approve the minutes from last month.
You can actually do all of the consent agenda in one motion. So it would be approving the agenda for this meeting, the minutes from December 7th, and excusing the absence of member Case.
Perfect. Kelly, you want to make a motion to that effect?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda, the minutes, and the absence of Doug Case, please.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, motion granted. So we turn this over to Michael. going
Okay.
over the modification to the code.
Yeah, the first two items, Lisa will take the lead on because they're more of like procedural things, and then I'll take over at the community event one.
So the first item in the code for this commission, you select a chair and a vice chair in the first meeting of each year. We're getting feedback from someone.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need someone to choose if you are willing to continue as chair, Jeff, or if you guys want a new chair.
I would like to nominate that Jeff keep on with being the chair. What are you laughing at, Jeff? Jeff, you've done a great job.
Are there any other nominations? Jeff, you're muted.
Oh, there we go. Right. Well, I could nominate Kelly, but I'm not gonna do that to her.
So is everyone in favor of keeping Jeff as the chair for 2021?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And what about vice chair? Currently, Kelly Lean is the vice chair.
Yeah, we got to make a motion. Kelly got to be the vice chair. Anybody seconded that?
Jenny?
I'll second.
Now I'm getting a call.
So all in favor? Aye, or raise your hand, or
Aye.
okay. So that takes care of that. We have Jeff and Kelly continuing as chair and vice chair for 2021. The next item is an update to what we discussed at the last meeting, where we had an issue with the even number of voting seats. And so we are going to propose adding one more voting member to this commission. So basically, here's a red line of the code, and it would be adding one more. So there would end up being 7 voting members and 2 advisory members. So those of you who are members now would remain as long as you're willing to continue serving. And I believe at the last meeting, everybody was willing to continue serving. So all of you would continue serving. And then we do have one application that the mayor will consider for appointing. The mayor's, I'm sure, going to be willing to appoint this person, one more qualified person to join the commission. So that person, after the mayor appoints them, which will be before the February, meeting. Just an information for you guys, that will also raise our quorum number. We will have to have 4 voting members for a quorum. So it increases the numbers by 1, but it also increases the quorum. So,
Makes sense.
and then basically, so Mr. Tarbit's position is not an appointed position based upon who he is, but based upon the position he is. So it's the director of the chamber. So that position doesn't have like a term ending date because it's not based upon the person, it's based upon that position. So those other voting members who have term ending dates, we're going to stagger those. So there's 6 of those positions now, and we'll stagger those where positions 1, 3, and 5 for this next session would be a 2-year term, and positions 2, 4, and 6 will be a 4-year term. And that way, what we'll do is every 2 years, 3 of the people that are appointed will be up for reappointment. So that way it's not like 6 members of the commission being up for having their terms end at the same time. So hopefully you'll all want to just continue serving, but in the case that we're not so lucky, we want to make sure that we at least don't have a full commission turning over at one time. So are there any other questions about these changes? Okay. So then I would entertain a motion to make this recommendation for council, and then it'll go to council at their next meeting.
Okay, well, I'd like to make a motion to recommend that the changes to our Economic Development, Tourism, and Events Code to the City Council for approval.
Is there a second?
A second.
I think Jenny had her hand raised first, so I'll give that to her. And so is there any other discussion? If not, we'll take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay. And against, same sign. Okay, the ayes have it, and it is passed. And now to community event date selection.
Okay, thank you. So we need to make a decision. I'm going to have one of the events. Hopefully by this time, COVID will be more under control, but regardless, we need to be planning for it. As you may recall, historically, we've always tried to stagger Freedom Fest away from like when City of Walla Walla does theirs, just because it's been around longer and a lot more of the entertainment and the retailers and the vendors, they would go with that one. Historically, by the calendar date, it's never fallen like on the day we do it, which is Sunday. However, this year is the first time since I've been here where the Sunday we would historically do it is July 4th. The problem, if we still do it July 4th, is that would go directly up against the Walla Walla Festival over in Pioneer Park. So we basically need to make a decision on whether or not to have it June 27th or July 4th. My personal opinion would be the June 27th, because otherwise I fear if we go head to head against the Walla Walla Pioneer Park event, I would worry that they would get the lion's share of the attendance and entertainment and so forth. And I mean, we may get to the point eventually where that wouldn't be a major consideration, but our events are so new. This is something I get concerned about. So I'll entertain any questions or comments or thoughts on this.
Well, I agree with you, Mike.
Mike, does it have to be on a Sunday?
I mean, it doesn't have to be on a Sunday. It's just historically we've done it Sundays. Because I know, for instance, the first year, I could have swore one of the years I was here, there was some discussion about doing it on Saturday, but then after polling of the community, because it's Sabbath, a lot of folks decided that that wouldn't be a good day to have it. So we've always had it on a Sunday. That's nothing to say that we have to. That's just been a tradition in the time we've done it.
I think we'll get a much better turnout on Sunday than we would on a Saturday in this community.
And I believe that it's such a large event and going throughout the day enough that I don't think a weekday would be very, very well attended either.
No.
I think it'd be the best benefit, since people are used to this event in town being on a Sunday, for it to remain a Sunday. It's just, I have a feeling if we keep it on the July Sunday, that could potentially backfire.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Now, would we be doing this at the high school then?
That would be the concept, as we've done it historically. I mean, again, with all this COVID stuff, who knows? But I mean, I would hope we're at some sort of control point by that time, but I don't predict that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We just have
Right,
to
Sunday it
decide
is.
soon, though, because usually relatively soon here, I usually get the contracts in place to do the fireworks. So that's why we need to decide on a date like soon here.
Yeah. Well, if I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and go with Sunday, June 27th for the Freedom Fest.
Okay. Is there a
I'll second.
Mr. Lambert has his hand up. Did you have discussion?
I was just going to agree with Kelly. I believe the 27th is a great day. So that's all I wanted to say on that.
So do you want to
You guys hear
second
me?
the motion?
I would love to second the motion.
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay, great. And then as you know, typically every year I always bring the flyers before this commission just to get them approved. So that way you know what I'm using to market the community, and that in general you're okay with it. So there's a variety of documents here for you all to peruse, and this is just, after I briefly go over this, I would appreciate it if there be a motion to basically approve these so I could use them in the promotions. The first document is an available properties booklet. And that basically has all of the available commercial properties in town, our contact information, the general trade area information, and just everything that's like going on. And then as you go further and further through, it has the available sites. Those have changed a bit from the past because, as you know, one of the sites is getting goodwill on it, so there's not as many available. But yeah, it just has all the key contact information to move things, and then whether or not each site's in the opportunity zone. And then the last slide basically just has the core development contacts here in town, which is myself, John, which is the community development director, Paul, public works director, and then Scott Hall, the building official. So that is that PowerPoint. Then we go into the additional flyers. The next one after this is the ED flyer. Updated some pictures and stuff to make it look newer. This one has key information comparing our city as a whole against the county and then against the state. Some of the things I know the retailers and other industries look favorably at is the percent of our population has a bachelor's degree or higher, and then our average commute and median age. Some things of note that I've noticed from past years, though, is that our poverty rate has gone up slightly, so it's 15.5%. And then median home value, we're below the county and the state, which is good, but we are climbing more and more. So that housing affordability, I'll get into that later, but that is something we need to watch closely. And then the targeted industry clusters, which is retail, education, healthcare, ag, and advanced tech. And then just on the second page of this, it has the mileage and time between your key cities in the Northwest, and then a map where all of the business districts in town are, because as you may recall, we went through that exercise naming the certain areas of commerce into districts, so that way it could be put on wayfinding signage. So that is that flyer. Next one is the marketing flyer. And then this one really explores the area by trade area. So there's a new picture up on the top. And then the key drive times that a lot of the retailers look at is 10, 20, and 40-minute drive times. And there's a map below that to show that. The key thing, which is really exciting because typically this piques retailers' interest, is that for the 40-minute drive time, we are almost 2,000 people over that 70,000 threshold. So that is definitely a good thing. And then our incomes are fairly strong. And then the second page of this has like the various retailers or types of retailers that are in town, and then what types of ones we're looking for. And then it also lists potential retail leakage. And what that means is basically of the entirety of money that is like spent by residents within the 40-minute drive time zone, how much of the expenditure money is leaving that area. As you could see here, there still are significant gaps in key sectors of interest. So restaurants, there's about 10 million a year leaving the drive time area. A significant amount is automotive dealers. And I've been trying to work aggressively to get a Ford dealership back in this area because that's something I hear a lot just out by the community. But there's almost a $34 million leakage in automotive dealers here. Electronic appliances, 11 million. Personal care, 12. Gas stations is significant at 23 million, and then clothing stores at 20, and then smaller amount in grocery, but then almost a 9 million one in furniture and home. So that is the retail potential retail leakage, looking at it from that 40-minute drive time. So that's that flyer. Then going into the next ones, I have flyers made up of like some of the more key business districts that we really try to promote and get filled up. So this one is College Avenue, and it's combined where this flyer is used for the North College district up by where Rogers Bakery is at, and then the downtown area, which we list as from 4th up to the top of the hill at 13th. And we do that where it's like 2 districts, because typically you don't really have like a break in one business district like we do with the university. So as you can see here, we have data points for the 10, 20, and 40 minute drive time zones. And you'll notice for each of these, the data points vary a little bit from that first flyer, because the first flyer has the drive time from the city limits geography as a whole. This is basically from the center point of each business district. So you'll see that where it has the populations, the incomes, which will be going up in the next 5 years. The thing that is good, but it's bad because of the housing affordability element, is that the median home value in the next 5 years is projected to go up, at least in my mind, quite a bit, because 2020 for a 10-minute drive time around College Avenue, for example, that dollar values at 261,000. In 5 years, it's projected to be 332. That's a giant jump.
Wow.
So that's good, but it's bad because I mean, all of the employers here need people to go work at them. So we need the housing diversity. So that way everyone has a place to call home nearby. So and I'm going to be getting into that later on, because there's a housing study we're working on in the region to try to deal with it. Retail leakage. Yeah, the interesting thing is the gaps vary by the business district. So it'll change a little bit in each of these business districts. So for College Avenue, you'll see the highest ones are general merchandise stores, jewelry, clothing stores, motor vehicles, furniture stores, office supplies, miscellaneous, and then electronic and appliance stores. So that is just the flyer for the College Avenue core. Going into the next one, you'll see Meadowbrook. And again, the data varies because the data is positioned from the center point of that business district. So it has a relatively different catchment area. The median home value differential is decreased slightly from being close to College Avenue, but going from 2020 to 2025, but it is there. And then again, you can see what the leakages are, and that means the economic sector has like the greatest amount of like expenditure leaving the region. And if you look at that, I mean, a lot of the ones where we have significant gaps at are ones you could trace to, again, retailers that are out in Tri-Cities. So we need a fight to get some of that here. But you'll see this one has a map of the retailers. This one has the logo for the library since that joined our business district. And then as we get to Southwest Sewer in, this flyer will have stuff marked for when that Stone Creek development sprouts as well off of College Avenue. But that'll be happening in the next couple of years because we're going to award the bid on that like next council meeting for the sewer part. So that's Meadowbrook, and the last flyer is Myra Road. And this just markets it as the corridor. So you'll see the various logos here. We have the logo for Goodwill in there because that is coming. They bought the land. It's a done deal. And then so that is in there. The drive times, the home value, you'll see it. They do jump significantly. The home value again, 2020, the 10-minute drive times 264,000 goes up. They're predicting it to go all the way up at 340,000 by 2025. So we need to watch that. This area, some of the largest gaps here are other general merchandise, the clothing stores, furniture, office supplies, shoe stores, and then electronics. And then this map just has a Highway 12 is to the north, and then the State Highway 125 is south. So this is updated material. I try to update it at the beginning of each year. I'll take comments or questions, but I'm just looking for us to get it approved again. So that way I have clearance to use it for our promotion efforts.
Well, I think these look good, Mike. And how do you distribute these?
I post them on the city website. So we do have like a business portal. So I post that on the front page of the business portal. And then when typically when I go to those retail conventions in Vegas, and hopefully it's coming back next year. Last year it was canceled because of COVID. But what I do is I put all these flyers and the PowerPoint on a flash drive that has the city logo on it, and then I give it to the brokers and developers for these retail, restaurant, hotel interests, so that way they have it, because all of them are packing luggage. So if you give them paper, they basically throw it in the garbage right away. So all of it has to be on a flash drive.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I would like to make a motion to approve these flyers as Mike has them.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, thank you.
Oh, good job, Mike. Those look great.
Yeah.
buddy.
Thank you. Then the next item gets into the issue we're starting to have, which is the housing needs assessment. So the issue of housing affordability, it's really a valley-wide problem. And as such, City of Walla Walla, College Place, the county, and then Dayton and Waitsburg, we were actually awarded a grant to do basically a housing action plan and a housing needs assessment to understand where the gaps are and then what we need to do to fix this thing. Because I would say this issue, it's definitely an economic issue because again, for your workforce, they need to be relatively nearby where they're working. Otherwise, you have issues recruiting. As you'll see in this report, there's definitely gaps here. So keep in mind, this isn't the whole housing needs assessment. This is just the existing conditions part. But I feel it's important to brief you all on this because there will be future virtual meetings. And I think it's good that you know what's going on so you could have detailed questions when this does come before various councils and when there's virtual town halls on this. So if you click on that trends and needs memo, I'll just briefly go over the pages. But you'll see the population trends between the state, Columbia County, and then the Walla Walla County, and then the cities within Walla Walla County. They're all experiencing growth, except Waitsburg has a small decline, but everyone else does have an increase. So you will see that. Page 2. Page 2 is really interesting because the population, when you break it down in the county by generation, And I mean, I guess this is because of the college students. I just didn't realize it was that big of a percentage. Generation Z, which is the generation that's like after the millennials. So basically, folks born in the mid 2000s and later, they actually comprise 35% of the population in the county. I was a bit shocked that the percentage was that high. So that is the largest at 35%, followed by the millennials at 18, and then Generation X at 17, and baby boomers at 22, and silent at 8. So as you could see, it's a younger population, and that's one of the things we just need to watch, because that housing affordability thing, that can really cause an issue with getting people their first home here. Going to page 3, you'll see the average household size between the region and then unincorporated county. You'll see the household size has shrunk a little bit from 2000 to 2018, where in the region as a whole, it went from 2.42 per household, now down to 2.34. Likewise, for the unincorporated areas of the county, 2.54, 2.47. So that means the households are much smaller. Going to page 4, this just shows you the employment trends for the key sectors within our region, which I found this quite interesting. So if you look at the segments within this are going down from 2002 to 17, the ag segment has a negative slope to it, as does transportation. Industrial relatively flattened out a little bit from 2010 to 17, but services, restaurants, and lodging, little bit of a decline, but not much. But as you can see, educational services, that jumped right up, as did healthcare and social assistance. So those are the key ones driving the trends, as you can see within this report here. Going on to page 5. You'll see the region's housing inventory. The relatively good news here is that College Place, we are starting to get a larger, more pronounced share of the housing in the region relative to like how it was in 1990. You could see the graphical differential there. However, our largest housing type is single family detached. That is at 59%, followed by townhouses and the duplexes or fourplexes, and then that gets followed by mobile homes and then multifamily. Interesting thing when you look at it compared to basically the other cities and so forth, we definitely have a more pronounced share of the duplexes and fourplexes compared to like Dayton, even Walla City and Waitsburg. The thing I would say that we are low on, as you can see, relative to everyone else, is apartment complexes. That is an issue. But we are holding our own with a higher share like mobile homes. So the apartment thing is, I think, some of what's haunting us right now. If you go to page 6. This just shows your new residential construction permits from 2015 and 19, where, as you could see, the biggest year for everyone was basically going into 2015, and then it decreased a little bit. What this is going to go into isn't so much the market demand, but I'll foreshadow some a little later on. You'll see in this report, it's actually the lack of urban growth area that's causing a lot of this, where there isn't really the land to go build the stuff relative to the demand, because a lot of our infill lots are just very unique shapes and so forth. Then the housing inventory trend, you can see this, where our housing inventory is definitely going up But when you see the slope of this versus like the population, there is a bit of a difference there. So the two aren't really equal. Next slide. Again, this one just gets into the housing types and where they've increased or where they've decreased at. Single family and the plexes have gone up for the region. However, the multifamily apartments, 2010 to the 18 mark, have actually decreased, as have the mobile homes and mobile home parks. Then the tenancy and vacancy levels, you can see this here. So of the 4 cities that are participating in this study, we have the second highest of the owner occupied at 69%. Dayton leads us with that. But then the rental occupied in town here is 31%. Next page. Huh? Okay. As you can see here, so this one I find interesting because this gets into the whole vacancy rate issue. Why we have additional housing. So is typically, at least other areas that like I've worked at, you usually have a more healthy market for like vacancy if like you're within the 4 or 5% range at a given time. While Waitsburg doesn't have this issue, the other areas do here. So like College Place, for example, the vacancy rate on the housing is 0.7%, and then on the rental, it's basically for this point in time in 2018 was basically at 0%. So that just shows you stuff's like literally flying off the shelves on the rental side, and even on the housing side. I mean, stuff doesn't really stay on the market too long here. Wallace City is a little better, as is the county, but as you can see in the immediate area here, housing's definitely an issue. Home prices and rents, you can see this where this is comparing Walla Walla County and Columbia County. This is something when you look at the home price increases where like in Walla Walla County in 2013 it was 180,000, and then the median home price by June of 2020 shot up at 273,000. So it definitely has an increasing slope there. Next slide. Okay. And then this one gets into median home price sales trends, just looking at the counties and then the cities. As you can see, it's definitely jumping. Median rent is the same way, as you can see here, this chart where things were a little bit of a dive, believe it or not, in 2015 and 16, but then the slopes just went direct lateral going into early 2020. They are working on some newer data to explore what this whole COVID pandemic has done with this. So that should be out, I would expect, in the next month or two, but this is like basically going into it. Next page. Okay. And then this gets into it's a HUD measure about your housing cost burden and your rent burden, which you're basically cost burdened if you pay over 30% of your gross income of housing, and then you're severely cost burdened if it's over 50. And as you can see here, as far as our percentage of the population, as you can see here, it is quite a bit. As far as owner-occupied housing, pertaining to College Place, not so much, because as you can see, 99% of the residents in town are not severely cost burdened, which is a good thing. However, the part that I find concerning is going into severe rent cost burden. So this is over 50% of people's gross income going to rent. And look at College Place, it's at 20.9%. So we're a little bit below Walla Walla City and the county, but that still is a high value when you look at the point that from a statewide level, it's 17.7% is that median average. So that definitely is concerning. Next. As you can see, this just is showing the income trends between 2010 and 2018, as well as the homeless residents. And because of the sleep center and other activities, as you can see, the amount of folks that are homeless has actually decreased relative to historical years. So that element is a piece of good news. Next slide. This just goes in analysis of attainable prices and rents, and this is like what HUD uses to basically decide whether or not they'll give a housing voucher, where it's like upper, middle, low, and very low, and you can see where the differentials are at for attainable housing prices. Next. This one is basically this Alice household index. This has to do basically if households at a point like we're experiencing poverty. As you can see, the poverty increases, it did decrease a little bit from 2010 to 18, but the affordability issue is still growing. Page 14. And the reason it's growing is because a couple of things. It's the UGA issue, but then what's building on it as well is that we have like a missing middle, and that's a type of a buzzword that is starting to really gain popularity. Where if you look at how cities have been zoned historically, it's been either your traditional single family home or apartments. Luckily, College Place is a little bit of an anomaly compared to the rest of the state, where we do have mobile home parks and things like that, but we are lacking in the cottage category, and then needing some additional duplex, triplex, and things of that sort. We have more of it than like our surrounding neighbors, but we need more of it. So that is something to consider. One thing that I found interesting on this page, if you go to the bottom of this page, I was shocked at, is that 1 in 5 workers in the county commute over 100 miles per day, and that's 55% higher than the statewide average. So because our housing market's getting so tight, people are commuting here to work from Pendleton, Tri-Cities, all over the place. I mean, we even have some of that within our public safety departments, just because there's a lack of housing at the moment. Next page, you'll see the commute patterns here. So we do have a good number of people that live and work within the county, but as you can see, there's quite a few people who basically live and work where they live like out in the Tri-Cities, and they go work here because of the paper plant and some of the industry out in Burbank. And then you have folks that are living here and then working in another county. That's the 5,900 people price point. So there's that. Going to the next page. Okay, so regional housing needs forecasts. This just goes into what essentially the housing demand is for both the county and then the unincorporated area. So as you can see, when the next 20 years, there definitely is a significant need here, and needs to be more of that missing middle housing as well. So that's what it's getting into. Next slide, next page. And then this goes into the projected housing needs within each of the UGAs. So you'll see here standard lots that we definitely have a demand for those, as are the small lot cottages, the townhouses, the multi-family units, 78 plus units, and then mobile homes as well. Next. And then this page gets a little bit into the reconciliation of the housing needs and the land supply. So what this is saying in a nutshell is when you look at the available land in the urban growth areas, there, even if you counted that there was that the weirder shaped lots somehow would have the infill potential and you had enough people willing to part with it to develop it for multiple families, there still is not enough land to be developed even with that. So there does need to be an increase in the urban growth area. Next page. And this gets into it. This gets into various UGAs. So Waitsburg, they're showing that they're good with UGA, but both City of Walla Walla and College Place, we have deficiencies. And that's going to continue among us. And that does have the potential to, have ripples economically because you need places for people to live near where they work. So that is really what this report is right now. That's the existing conditions. One of the things that I'll send out an email to is community council, and what they're doing is that January 11th at 6 p.m. there's going to be like a town hall webinar thing. And they're looking at forming a housing trust where in essence that would be like a nonprofit that acts like as a developer of housing, and it helps with the affordability. You see that in areas like Chelan County, for example, and then Ellensburg, they have land trusts. So there is currently an effort underway to get a land trust going here regionally. So that's part of the solution. Another part is that whole urban growth area thing that I know I've been on my soapbox about the last couple of years, but the data really ferrets the point of all of this. So that is just talking through this report. I'll entertain any comments or questions.
Well, that's a great report, Michael. When did you say that webinar was again? I missed that part.
Yeah, that'll be Monday, January 11th at 6 p.m. And I'm trying to remember. So with these webinars, if it's like under 3, it's not considered a public meeting, Lisa, or help me out here.
Yeah, if there's 3 or more, then it's a potential quorum. Is this webinar interactive at all, or is it strictly just watching?
This one will be interactive, where it's like bringing questions from the whole community. So there is an interactive component.
Then we need no more than 2.
Okay.
Okay, good. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I would say definitely 2 of you can please consider attending it though, because this is going to be one of the solutions to deal with this, because this deals with a housing issue. But I think if this isn't dealt with in the right way, this has major ramifications on our local economy here.
Okay. Well, I definitely would like to do that. If you can send me the link or,
Will do.
okay, perfect.
Do you know what time it is at?
6 p.m.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
6 p.m. on Monday, January 11th.
Okay.
You want to do it, Kelly?
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Okay, we'll do it.
Okay, I will send
All right, there's,
the invite email to both of you to sign up.
Okay.
thank you.
Yep.
That's a great report. I'm gonna have to study that a little bit more. It's a lot of info on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An interesting thing is that I would say of that whole study, it's only about a third of the way complete, because that's just the existing conditions phase. They need to get into the whole exactly how do you address it. And I mean, I've alluded to 2 of the options. There's probably more, but those are the lowest hanging fruit.
Mhm. Okay, do we have anything else to cover, Mike?
Yeah, one last thing that'll be
Okay.
quick.
Good. Okay.
Yep. And this is the micro business assistance program. So I just want to share this with you. As you know, the city's been contributing to this for the last 3 years. And we actually got a state community development block grant where usually every year we give money for like to cover 2 seats for 2 residents to participate in this. And what it is it's business training, but then it's like a matched IDA program where for every dollar that the person that's in this puts in, it's basically matched like 4-1 up to like $4,000, and it's funded by the cities, the county, and a bunch of the banks locally. Contribute to this, and there have been about 3 cohorts already. We have the application out through Mercy Corps for the 4th cohort. We're going to dramatically be able to expand it this year because we have the CDBG grant for the next 2 years where we're actually able to add 12 seats. So we'll be able to dramatically open this up to College Place residents, which is a great thing. So that's what the information is in front of you. Just a printout of the website, just some performance metrics in English and Spanish about the program, how it's run historically. And then they've also come up with like a client directory where all of the folks who have gone through this just has information about what their business is, their website, their contact information. And we've had quite a few locally here in town that have gone through it. So there's a light sport aeromotive company out near Martin Airfield, a company called Shell's Gotta Have It, Juan Segovia Plumbing, and a couple of others that have been in this program. But yeah, we got a grant to expand it, and it's going well. So just putting the word out there in case anyone you know wants to participate in it, definitely sign up. And it goes through a review process by economic development professionals to figure out who to give the seats to. But yeah, it's on the website and on the city's social media pages. So any questions?
No, it's growing. I remember 3 years ago when this thing started here, and I see it has grown a lot. So it's somebody's business I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to know you're out there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, tell.
So besides our the website and stuff, how, some people know that these businesses are out there. I mean, of course, it's their job to get out there and kind of promote themselves, but, spreading the word that these businesses are out there is just pretty much on the websites. website,
it's-
city
It's
website?
mainly on the website, and it's like through this document that Lisa's scrolling through right now. So a lot of the sponsors, a lot of the banks in College Place and Walla Walla have a printout of this, and they're supposed to drop off a stack for us, but city facilities can't be open yet because of the whole COVID thing. So at the moment, it's a moot point. But that's how this booklet's getting out to people, though. The Mercy Corps folks have done a big printing of these.
Awesome. We can promote some of those booklets, whatever, at the market as well.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll find out when Mercy Corps brings them this way, and then I could bring some over to you then.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all the topics, Michael.
Yep, that's everything.
Okay, so next meeting. Lisa? February.
Next
I don't
meeting
have the calendar in front of me.
is February 1st.
Oh, February 1st.
1st of February is on the first Monday of February. So February 1st, 5:00 p.m.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Do we have a
Well,
motion?
I think we can adjourn this meeting. We'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second?
Kelly?
Did we get the motion? Okay, then I'd like to second it, please.
At 6:07.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike.
Good information. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see everybody February 1st.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right, you guys, take care.